It was stupid, he admitted. It was all I could think of. But I've been working on myself, trying to fix it. I know how you feel about games. Yes, she snapped, her voice slicing through the air. Games are for people who can't handle vulnerability. You manipulate emotions to avoid your own. But in the end, Marcus, who really wants you? The question stunned him. It cracked something in him wide open. Nessa stepped forward again, this time her voice lowering into a venom laced whisper. Who really fucks with you? She asked. You don't believe anyone would love you without your strategies. You hold on to control because you think it's the only thing that keeps you from being alone. But you don't know how to love. Not really. Not without trying to own someone. He couldn't respond. Couldn't even look at her. Marcus stared at her message for what felt like an hour. It was the crack in the door he'd been waiting for. And he had missed her. But shouldn't these games have amounted to much more than just an invite to talk? She wasn't begging. She wasn't unraveling. It didn't feel like surrender. It felt like curiosity, caution, control slipping through his fingers. He was no stranger to games, but this game was new for him. So he did what he always did when things felt too uncertain. He called Daryl. The phone barely rang twice. You finally got her reaching out, Daryl said eagerly. What'd she say? Marcus sat on the edge of his couch, thumb rubbing the bridge of his nose. She asked if I wanted to talk in person. Daryl paused. Then, that's it? Yeah. Nah, too soon. What do you mean? Bro, if she ain't begging, if she ain't saying I miss you or pulling up on some emotional breakdown type vibes, it's too soon. You give her a face to face right now, she gets the upper hand. She gets answers, closure, control. Marcus didn't respond, just stared at the wall while Daryl kept going. He just wanted this to be over with. But he wasn't a quitter. This ain't about talk. It's about leverage. Silence is still working. You've been in her head for weeks. The minute you show up looking soft or unsure, it's over. She'll feel safe walking away. She'll feel like she won. Marcus sighed. But what if it's real? What if this is her way of trying? Then she'll try harder. If she really wants you, she'll show up again. And this time, you won't have to guess what it means. She'll make it loud, make it undeniable. Right now, this message ain't it. This message saying she's testing the waters. Don't respond. Not yet. Marcus nodded slowly, not because it felt right, but because it made sense in the language he understood best. Strategy. He hovered over her message one last time, read it again, felt something ache in his chest he didn't know how to name. Then he locked his phone, stood up, and walked away. Nessa sat on the edge of her bed, phone in her hand, staring at the message she had sent. Sent, read, no reply. Nothing. No typing bubble, no call, no closure, just silence. She exhaled hard, trying to play it cool. Maybe he was thinking. Maybe he needed time. Maybe he'd call tomorrow. But as the hours stretched into a full day and then into two, a familiar ache crept in. The kind that whispered, you moved too fast. You should have listened instead of reacting. You blew it. She curled up on the couch, knees to her chest, replaying that night in her mind. The name he whispered, the fury in her chest, the way she packed her bags, like her body moved without her mind. No warning, no space for a lie, no room for an explanation. Now she wondered, what if there was one? What if it wasn't what it seemed? Tears welled in her eyes and she wiped them away before they fell. Because no one knew she was struggling, not even her sister. To the outside world, she was glowing, reclaiming herself, posting affirmations and pictures of joy. But inside, she was unraveling in silence. Every day without his voice chipped away at her confidence. What if I misunderstood? What if I gave up too easily? What if I was the reason this ended? And that was the hardest part. Not the betrayal, not the silence, but the not knowing. Not knowing if he still loved her, not knowing if he hated her, not knowing if her decision to walk away was a mistake. She buried her face in her hands and sobbed quietly, the kind of tears cried when no one is looking, the kind that feel too shameful to speak out loud. She didn't know if she wanted him back. She just wanted to understand. And that's what hurt the most. Because she reached out. She opened the door. And all she got in return was nothing. Nessa hadn't eaten all day. There was food in the fridge. She had even meal prepped like she always did on Sundays. But nothing tasted right. Nothing felt right. She kept checking her phone like it was broken. Like maybe a message had slipped through. Maybe it didn't deliver. Maybe, always maybe. By day 4, the silence started speaking louder than any text ever could. She sat on the floor of her bedroom, surrounded by a half open box of yarn and crochet needles she couldn't bring herself to touch. The things that used to calm her now just reminded her of him, of how well he knew her, of how much attention he paid, of how easy it had been to fall in love. Was it too easy? Did I imagine it all? She started scrolling through old pictures on her phone, their birthdays, that weekend trip to Charleston, that video of him dancing horribly in the kitchen while she cooked just to make her laugh. She smiled, then cried, then got angry at herself for crying. Why did I reach out first? Why did I even care? Her mind kept swinging between the truth and the fantasy, between he hurt me and maybe I hurt him first, between he should have chased me and maybe I was too cold. By nightfall, she was pacing her living room in circles, mumbling to herself. Maybe I was dramatic. I could have let him explain. What if I shut the door too fast? She grabbed her phone, typed out a message, deleted it, typed it again, deleted it again. She couldn't even trust her own thoughts anymore. And that's what broke her. Not the silence, not the heartbreak, but the fact that she didn't know what was real anymore. Her trust in herself, shaky. Her grip on the truth, fading. Her dignity, feeling like it was hanging by a thread she had crocheted herself. And just like that, she collapsed on the couch, clutching a pillow to her chest like it could hold her together. She didn't cry this time. The tears had dried up. All that remained was the ache. That awful, heavy ache of feeling like maybe she was the one who ruined it. like maybe she was too much, too guarded, too hard to love. Rock bottom wasn't loud, it was quiet, it was cold. It was this moment where she didn't even know what to feel anymore. Nessa wasn't herself. She hadn't been for weeks. Her twist out was overdue. Her skin was dull. Her inbox at work was overflowing with unanswered emails. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't care. She stopped wearing her signature lip gloss, stopped her midweek coffee runs, stopped dressing up even a little for work Zoom calls. She barely spoke to anyone unless she had to. Her phone stayed on Do Not Disturb. Even her sister backed off, assuming Nessa just needed time to grieve. People whispered. They figured it was the breakup. The engagement that ended with no details. The girl who used to radiate peace and purpose now flickering like a dim light. So, one Saturday afternoon, without warning, her girl showed up. Ashlyn, Lex, Bree, loud, uninvited, but determined. Her sister banged on the door like she had a warrant. Nessa, I swear, if you don't open this door, I'm picking the lock with a bobby pin. Lex chimed in from behind her. And don't test her, she's done it before. Nessa opened the door, hoodie on, bonnet crooked, eyes tired. Hey, she said weakly. All three women stared. Ashlyn blinked. Girl, when was the last time you saw sunlight? Nessa cracked a half smile. I go to mailbox. Not what I meant. Before she could protest, they were inside, pulling out outfits, grabbing makeup bags, ignoring her weak objections. Get dressed, Bree said. We're going out. Just a little vibe, nothing crazy. We miss you. Nessa sighed. Not really in the mood. Lex touched her arm gently. Then we'll bring the mood to you, but you're coming. An hour later, she was sitting in a small lounge with neon lights and soulful R&B in the background, sipping a drink she didn't ask for but was grateful to hold. That's when she saw him. He wasn't flashy, but he had that energy, calm, confident, intentional. The kind of presence that made the room lean in without knowing why. He walked past, did a double take, then came back. Excuse me, he said with a smile that didn't try too hard. I hope this isn't too forward, but I noticed you from across the room. You have this stillness about you. Stillness. The very thing she felt was swallowing her whole, yet to him, it looked like peace. She tilted her head, intrigued. Stillness? He nodded. Like, your energy doesn't need the room's permission to be present. It's rare. Nessa blinked, a little stunned. That's different. I'm Nessa. Jordan, he said, extending his hand. I'm not trying to disrupt your night, but I'd love to take you to dinner sometime. Just us. No noise. Her friends behind her were practically holding their breath. Nessa felt their eyes, felt the world tilt a little beneath her. She looked at him. His smile was kind. His eyes were honest. And for a moment, she felt seen. Really seen. And though her heart was still tangled in silence and grief, she said, Okay, I like that. Marcus was doing his usual late night scroll. He didn't like her photos anymore. He couldn't break no contact, but he damn sure stayed lurking. He hit her Instagram. New post. A picture of Nessa and her sister at some lounge, smiling, glowing, carefree. It took all of 2 seconds for him to zoom in. That's when he saw him, some dude, in the blurred background leaning in close, laughing, his hand just barely grazing Nessa's chair. Marcus' stomach dropped. He blinked, zoomed again, looked at the guy's posture, the way Nessa wasn't even looking back, like she was unbothered. Unbothered. Hell no. Green recorded the story and immediately called Daryl. Yo! Daryl sounded half asleep. What's up? I think she's talking to somebody, Marcus said, his voice low but tight, panic tucked behind fake calm. Who? Look at her sister's story. Dude in the background. Y'all close and comfortable. Daryl yawned, not impressed. Well, it's just a dude. Could be a friend. Could be the waiter. Waiters don't lean in like that. Marcus snapped. And Nessa don't be posting no randoms. So what? You think she already moved on? Daryl scoffed. This strategy is foolproof, bro. She's still in the spiral. You gave her silence. She's feeling the absence. Marcus was quiet. Daryl continued. Even if she is chilling with dude, it ain't serious. She's just trying to numb herself from the pain. That's all. She'll come back around. Trust me. Marcus rubbed his forehead. I know, he muttered. She ain't sleeping with nobody. Not this soon. Nessa don't move like that. Exactly, Daryl said. She's not built like that. She's still hurt. You still in control. But something inside Marcus shifted. For the first time, he wasn't sure. Not about the game, not about Daryl, about her. Because in that photo, blurry or not, she didn't look hurt. She looked like she might actually be okay. And that terrified him. Because if she wasn't spiraling, if she wasn't lost without him, then maybe he really did lose her. Nessa sat at the edge of the couch in Gina's apartment, her untouched glass of wine sweating on the coffee table. Lex was sprawled across the floor, flipping through a magazine without actually reading it. You've been quiet all night, Lex finally said. What's going on? Nessa shrugged, trying to play it off. Nothing. Just tired. Girl, you're not tired, Ashlyn said. You're tired of pretending. Nessa gave a half smile and looked down at her hands. It's Marcus. Both women exhaled at the same time, like they'd been holding it in for weeks. What about him? Ashlyn asked gently. Nessa hesitated. I reached out, asked him if he'd wanted to talk, and he didn't respond at all. Lex sat up. Wait, he ignored you? Yep. Nessa nodded. No call, no text, nothing. Ashlyn tilted her head. How many times did you reach out? Nessa hesitated. A few. Lex raised an eyebrow. Nessa groaned. Okay, like 6, 7. But it wasn't all at once. I thought he needed time at first. Then I thought maybe he didn't get it. Then I thought maybe he just needed to hear me say I was sorry. Both women stared at her. Lex shook her head slowly. Girl. Ashlyn sighed. Oh no. He's running game. What? No. Nessa frowned. He's just hurt. Probably thinks I abandoned him. He's not hurt, Lex said flatly. He's calculating. That man is doing something called no contact. Look it up. It's a manipulation strategy to make you chase him. Hard to get 101, her sister added. They ignore you until you spiral. They feed off your energy, your attempts, your guilt. Nessa looked stunned. So you're saying he's doing this on purpose? Yes, they said in unison. She slumped back against the couch, overwhelmed. But I didn't know. I didn't know that's what he was doing. I thought maybe he just needed time to heal. I, I thought I hurt him. Lex looked at her, soft but firm. You did what any woman with a heart would do. Try to fix it. But he's using your compassion to keep control. Ashlyn picked up Nessa's phone. It's time. For what? Nessa asked. To block him. What? No. Nessa sat up. That feels petty. It's not petty, Lex said. It's necessary. As long as he can still see your stories, still check your page, still feel you wanting him, he has power. I don't want power, Nessa said quietly. I just want to move on. Ashlyn met her eyes. Then blocking him is the first step. Not revenge. For peace. For you. Nessa stared at her phone. Her thumb hovered. And then tap. Block. 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 Instagram. Text. Phone. Facebook. Everything. She dropped the phone on the table and exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for weeks. I don't feel powerful, she whispered. You're not supposed to, Ashlyn said. You're supposed to feel free. Nessa hadn't felt like this in years. Not anxious, not confused, not trying to decode mixed signals or replay old wounds. Just at peace. The sun hit differently these days, warm instead of heavy. Her laugh came easier. Her sleep was deeper. The weight she used to carry, the second guessing, the aching silence that haunted her after Marcus went ghost, gone. She stood barefoot in the kitchen of her new apartment. Their new apartment, stirring almond milk into her coffee while Jordan wrapped his arms around her waist from behind. You always make the best coffee, he murmured, kissing her shoulder. She smiled. You say that like I didn't show you how to make it last week. Yeah, but it tastes better when it comes from your hands. He kissed her again, gentle, uncomplicated. They'd only been back in the city for a few weeks. Jordan had gotten a job opportunity he couldn't pass up, ironically, in the same city Marcus lived in. Nessa hesitated at first, but something about the move felt symbolic. Like she wasn't running anymore. She was reclaiming space, rewriting the story. This time, not as the girl who lost herself loving the wrong man, but the woman who found herself being loved the right way. Jordan was everything she hadn't realized she needed: consistent, communicative, emotionally available. He didn't make her beg for reassurance, he gave it freely. He didn't disappear when she was vulnerable, he leaned in. He didn't make her guess where she stood, he told her daily. And she believed him because his love didn't come with confusion or games. It came with clarity, with presence, with safety. Jordan stepped back and grabbed his keys from the counter. You good for dinner at 7? Mm-hmm. I'll be dressed. Don't forget that red dress I like. She rolled her eyes with a grin. We'll see. As he walked out the door, she looked around the apartment. It wasn't just a space. It was a new beginning. No ghosts. No games. No guilt. Just her. Her heart. And a love that didn't make her question if she was too much or not enough. She was happy. And the best part, it didn't come from a man who played chess with her emotions. It came from a man who saw her clearly and simply chose her. Marcus paced his office like a man possessed, phone pressed to his ear, jaw locked, the Instagram block, the silence, and then the final blow. His mom casually talking on speakerphone with Nessa's mom while she assisted the staff with decor for the next event. Yeah, girl, the event is Saturday. Nessa's hosting it with her boyfriend. Oh, girl, he's so sweet. Clean cut, respectful, has a real job. They just moved back, you know? That was all he needed to hear. He dialed Daryl with shaking hands. Yo, Daryl answered. You good? No, nigga, I'm not, Marcus snapped. She moved on. She's hosting some event downtown with a whole new dude. My girl, bro. My fiance. Daryl paused. I breathe. No, I should have never listened to your dumb ass, Marcus barked. All this no contact, all this strategy wasn't no strategy. It was sabotage. She just bluffing, man. Trying to get a rise out of. Marcus laughed, bitter and cold. Bluff. You think this is a bluff? She blocked me. Not ignored. Not muted. Blocked. And now she got a whole new nigga. She ain't bluffing. She's done. Daryl stayed quiet. Marcus kept going. You told me to wait. You told me this plan was foolproof. But I was sitting here feeding off silence while she was learning how to be loved the right way by somebody else. Bro. No, fuck that, Daryl. I ain't about to be some cautionary tale you use to boost your ego. I'm not losing the best thing that ever happened to me to a man who just showed up. Marcus, if you go now, you lose all the power you earned. She'll see right through it. I don't give a fuck about power anymore. Marcus growled. This ain't a game. This is my life. And I'm done being a player in a game that cost me my future. Don't do it. I'm getting my woman back. I don't care if I gotta stand in front of her whole family and cry like Tyrese on Instagram. She's gonna know how I feel tonight. Marcus hung up. No hesitation. No more moves. No more silence. He grabbed his keys and his hoodie. Because if Nessa was gonna see him again, she was gonna see the real him. Not the one Daryl coached. Not the one that played the waiting game. Just the man who finally realized he lost. And the only thing left to do was fight. The bedroom was dim, lit only by the soft glow of the bedside lamp. Jordan lay against the headboard, one arm behind his head, the other resting gently on Nessa's thigh as she sat at the edge of the bed, scrolling through her phone in silence. She wasn't reading. She was thinking. Nessa set the phone down slowly. My mom called, she said quietly. Jordan looked over from the couch, eyes warm but alert. Yeah. She said Marcus has been asking about me, trying to get tickets to my event. Even lied and told people I invited him, just left the address out. Jordan scoffed. Thought dude ghosted you after y'all broke up. He did. So why now? Nessa shrugged. I blocked him after Gina, Lex, and Ashlyn told me he was pulling that no contact stunt, trying to manipulate me into missing him or something. Jordan's jaw clenched slightly. Wow, he's one of those. She nodded. Yeah, and I don't play games like that. I'm too genuine for that kind of nonsense, especially with someone who doesn't even love himself. Jordan leaned back, shaking his head. So, so what? He's trying to spin the block and act like he still got pull? Basically. You want me there? He asked, shifting in his seat in case he tries to pull anything slick. Nessa looked up at him. I want you there, but I can handle him. He searched her face carefully. You sure you feel safe? She paused for a moment, then nodded. It's not about fear. I just have some things I need to say out loud to his face. The air between them shifted, quiet, but charged. Jordan leaned forward, elbows on his knees. Say the word and I'm there. Silent. If he even breathes wrong, I got you. But this is your space, your moment. You lead. I'm just back up. Nessa smiled faintly, her fingers brushing the edge of the comforter. I'm not scared of Marcus. Not anymore. I've outgrown the version of me that needed his attention to feel worthy. Jordan reached over, kissed the back of her hand gently, and met her gaze. Then I'm with you and behind you. She leaned into his chest, his arms wrapping around her without hesitation. And in that stillness, her head resting against a man who never made her question her worth, Nessa didn't feel fear. She felt ready. Not for the drama, not for revenge, just for closure, truth, and, finally, peace. Nessa arrived early with Jordan to the venue to finalize the details. Approve centerpieces, handle vendor payments, and greet guests, many of whom had followed her creative journey online from day one. With her talent spanning design, coaching, and branding, she had become more than just a creative. She was a guide, a force, someone others admired for how she moved, intentional, polished, and powerful. Jordan remained in the background, composed and observant, syncing with security to ensure everything went smoothly. His presence had always been calming, solid, especially compared to Marcus, whose love had always felt like a moving target, scattered, distracted, chaotic. As Nessa stood at the front of the room reviewing her speaking notes, one of the guards muttered something into Jordan's earpiece. Man approaching her now, kind of close. Jordan tensed slightly, ready to step in, but before he could, Nesta raised her hand gently, signaling him to stand down. She already knew who it was. She felt him before she saw him. Marcus. He walked toward her with hesitation, every step laced with uncertainty. He didn't move like someone confident in his purpose. He moved like someone bracing for impact. Her plan had been clear. Tell him off. Give the monologue she'd rehearsed endlessly in her head. But when their eyes finally met, the anger she had clung to melted into something else. Empathy. Maybe even pity. Hey, Marcus said, hands on his hips, voice low. Hey, she replied, her tone quiet and sincere, but undeniably distant. I heard your boy over there trying to cut a nigga down, he said, chuckling softly, trying to keep things light, trying to fall into old rhythms. But Nessa didn't budge. Her silence held weight. And Marcus felt it. The look she gave him. The one that cut past every defense, every excuse, every performance. It was a look that said, I see you. You? She finally said, a small smirk tugging at her lips. You're harmless. She waved off security with a gentle gesture, but her eyes, they were sad, tired. Marcus lowered his head. After all the harm I caused, I don't know if that's the right word to use. A pause stretched between them, long, fragile, heavy with things unsaid. Then Nessa stepped forward and broke the silence. What did you get out of this, Marmar? Her voice shifted, tender and intimate, almost maternal. Only she had ever called him that. Marmar. The nickname hit him in the chest. He looked like he might fall apart just hearing it. You did all this. She gestured toward the phone half tucked in his pocket. Just to have what? Control? Power? The upper hand? I just wanted you to come back. He admitted, I knew I messed up. And how else could I get a second chance without gaining control? She interrupted gently, her voice not accusatory, but curious, wanting to understand, even though she already did. Marcus hesitated. Before he could respond, she cut him off again. Daryl told me that. Daryl told you, she repeated, her calm slipping. Daryl. The same Daryl you said was too dumb to pick a partner for his own dog. You took his advice about us. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't have to. The fire behind her eyes said it all. Controlled, measured, devastating. I had to do something, Marcus insisted. I didn't want to lose you. He stepped in closer, but Nessa backed away, both palms up like a barrier. And that was the best move you could make? Her voice trembled now, cracked by disbelief. I feel sorry for you. She turned her head away, curls falling over her shoulder in a familiar, involuntary motion, one she hadn't outgrown. Marcus stared, heart breaking all over again. It was stupid, he admitted. It was all I could think of. But I've been working on myself, trying to fix it. I know how you feel about games. Yes, she snapped, her voice slicing through the air. Games are for people who can't handle vulnerability. You manipulate emotions to avoid your own. But in the end, Marcus, who really wants you? The question stunned him. It cracked something in him wide open. Nessa stepped forward again, this time her voice lowering into a venom-laced whisper. Who really fucks with you? She asked. You don't believe anyone would love you without your strategies. You hold on to control because you think it's the only thing that keeps you from being alone. But you don't know how to love. Not really. Not without trying to own someone. He couldn't respond. Couldn't even look at her. His fingers fidgeted with a piece of folded paper in his pocket. An old ticket stub, maybe. A relic of a better time. Now, just trash. Lifting his eyes, tears fell freely down his face. But I've changed, he whispered. I swear I have. I've been thinking, doing the work, trying to make it right. No, she said, voice like a blade. You've been strategizing. And that's not the same thing. She took a step back, composed herself. There's no way to make this right. You got caught cheating. Then you tried to manipulate me back. And you lost. Because the one thing you really wanted She pointed to her chest. You'll never have again. Marcus looked like he'd just been struck. And the sick part, she added, stepping in with one last blow. You had it. You had everything. And you got greedy. Now you get nothing. Her words dropped like stones into a still pond. No yelling, no chaos, just ripples of truth too heavy to ignore. She drew in a breath and her tone softened. Not forgiving, but final. I still want more for you, Marmar. I really do. Even if it's not with me. Go to counseling. Heal. Move on. No more games. Just be real. For once in your life. She reached out and brushed his shoulder softly, like wiping away dust or guilt. Then she walked past him, her scent lingering, her footsteps fading. Marcus stood there in the middle of it all, wrecked and deserving every word. Marcus stood still, rooted to the spot, even after Nessa walked away. She didn't yell. She didn't throw a drink in his face. She didn't call him names. She did something far worse. She saw him. And then she walked away for good. His fingers curled around the folded ticket stub in his pocket. Their last concert together. He had kept it, thinking maybe, just maybe, he could use it one day to show her that he remembered the little things. But even now, it felt like a receipt for something he could never return to. Behind him, Jordan approached without a word, placing a steady hand on Marcus's shoulder. The touch grounded him, brought him back from the fog of his thoughts. Man to man, Justin said, calm but firm. The only competitive advantage you get in a relationship is love, vulnerability. Control might win you the moment, but love? He nodded toward Nessa. Love don't expire. Then, with a respectful smile, Jordan walked over and kissed Nessa's cheek before disappearing into the back. Marcus wiped his face roughly, jaw locked tight. Punk, he muttered under his breath. But the truth of it, the weight of it, settled like bricks on his chest. He had played all the right moves, pulled the strings, set the traps, calculated her reactions like numbers on a spreadsheet. But love wasn't something to outwit. It wasn't a win. It was a surrender. And now that he finally understood that, he also understood this. He lost her the moment he started playing games with her heart. He turned toward the exit, his steps heavy but no longer aimless. It was over. But the lesson had just begun. Marcus sat on the back porch of his childhood home, nursing a glass of bourbon that had long gone warm. His phone sat untouched on the table. No texts, no notifications, no Nessa, no Connie. Just his tipsy thoughts and the sound of his finger tapping the side of the glass. His father stepped outside moments later, settling into the creaky wooden chair beside him. The older man looked calmer than usual, wiser, softened by the years of hard lessons. Your mom told me you've been out here a while, his father said quietly. You look like hell. Marcus gave a weak chuckle. Feel even worse. They sat in silence for a beat before his father spoke again, his voice low but steady. So, what happened with Nessa? Marcus exhaled deeply, voice thick. I lost her. Again. Playing a game. I thought that if I controlled the pieces, I could win her back. But she saw through it. His father nodded slowly, eyes trained on the fading light stretching across the yard. When women like Nessa, they love for real. They feel deep. You try to play them, you'll lose a winning hand. Marcus shook his head, wiping at his face, his tears angry and bitter. You're right. Damn. I had her heart. All I had to do was take care of it. Instead, I treated her like a strategy. His father leaned back with a quiet sigh, his voice low but steady. I used to be like that. Cold, calculated, treated your mother the same way. Silent, controlling. Thought that's what being a man meant. He turned, locking eyes with Marcus. But being a man don't give you license to be cold and controlling. Once a woman gives you her heart, you gotta soften up or you lose it. Marcus swallowed hard, the truth burning its way down. He looked away, then looked back again, eyes wet, heart wrecked. Your mom stayed because I changed. I had to learn the hard way after she moved out. Had to face myself. I stopped trying to own her. Stopped trying to win every fight. I started showing up and being vulnerable. His father's eyes glistened just a little. It wasn't easy, but it saved us. Marcus shook his head slowly, voice low. I know love isn't a game, but I don't know any other way to see it. If I can't strategize my way into her heart, how else do I get there? His father let out a quiet sigh, a knowing one, then looked him square in the eyes. You earn it, son. You show up. You be honest. You be real. You don't scheme your way into a woman's heart. You walk in with your chest open, even if it might get broken. He gripped Marcus's shoulder with a firm hand. You still got a chance to be that man, but you gotta unlearn the code to feel the warmth. Be soft. Be open. Feel the pain. Cry if you need to. Because the next time, he paused, voice sharp now. You won't be trying to control love. You'll know how to give it. And that's the only way to keep it. Marcus looked up at the sky, his chest tight, throat burning. His father's words didn't just settle in. They carved a place inside him. For the first time, he didn't want to be the player. Didn't want to win. Didn't want control. He just wanted to love right. And now he knew. Games end. Love doesn't. Unless you play it wrong. Checkmate.
Back, but I can't. I wanna leave you behind, but I can't. It's not easy to love you, darling. It's not easy to love you, darling. Should leave you in the moment. Should tell you all the problems. It's not easy to love you, baby. It's not easy to love you, baby. It's not easy to love you.